my channel, subscribe the vlogger. Aj, we bought a new video today for guys. I've been requested by one of the, I think one of my Pakistani brother. He said please react to the life of Muhammad Jinnah. It's Ali Jinnah. Part 1 I'm going to react to. Then obviously we'll continue reacting to part 2, part 3, part 5 I think it's up to. Yeah, so we do this now, and I've Barry with me today. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Obviously, we're going to get to know a lot about Jinnah. I think Jinnah is the first guy who was a part of the freedom fighter. He was, you know, when India and Pakistan got the partition, Jinnah had that movement to get Pakistan. So I think he fought for Pakistan, and which apparently they actually won that, and he actually got Pakistan, and he was the first Prime Minister of Pakistan. So I think we're gonna get to know more. I don't know much about. I think I've saw a film Victoria Roy. No, sorry, Vince Royce. Guys, if you haven't seen the film called Vince Royce, there's more about him in the movie. I think I've got it a bit right what I said. So are you ready to do the reaction on? Yeah, let's do this. Think 100 times before you take a decision, but once decision is taken, stand by it as one man.
Muhammad Ali Jinnah is probably the most requested person that we get to do a video on. The father of Pakistan, as he's known by many, his story is truly a fascinating one. Welcome back to another episode of FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and in this episode, we're taking a look at the early life of Muhammad Ali Jinnah and his rise to power. This is a two-part series because we didn't want to jam everything into one episode, so look out for part 2. And yes, we heard you guys loud and clear. Syed Zishan, Aisha S, Ashar Tabriz, as well as Pakistan Zindabad, India Murdabad. All want us to do a video on Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And before we begin with his story, I want to know, who inspires you? Muhammad Ali Jinnah was born on the 25th of December in 1876 in Karachi, which is now located in Pakistan, but back then it was part of British India. His father was a very prosperous Muslim merchant. At the time of his birth, Jinnah's official name was Muhammad Ali Jinnah Bai. In terms of his schooling, he was educated at the Sindh Magistrat-ul-Islam University and also the Christian Missionary School. Soon after that, Jinnah joined the Honourable Society of Lincoln's Inn in 1893. That was located in London, England, and he became the youngest Indian to be called to the bar 3 years later.
Indian that time,
Jinnah started out in the legal profession and went on to become one of the most successful lawyers in Bombay. But once his legal career was established firmly enough, he began his career in politics in 1905. And that's where he used his platform of the Indian National Congress. In 1905, Jinnah went along with Gopal Krishna Gokhale, who was another prominent Indian freedom fighter at the time, as members of Congress to England to negotiate with them about Indian self-government during British elections. A year later, he served as secretary to Dadabhai Naoroji, who was the Indian National Congress president at the time, which was considered a huge honor by Jinnah. From there, at the Calcutta Congress session in 1906, he made his first political speech in support of the resolution on self-government. 3 years later, on January 10th, 1910, Jinnah was elected to the newly constituted Imperial Legislative Council. All through his parliamentary career, which spanned 4 decades, he was probably the most powerful voice in the cause of Indian freedom and Indian rights. And ever since Jinnah's entry into politics in 1906, he became one of the most prominent voices working for the cause of Hindu-Muslim unity. In fact, in the year 1916, Jinnah was responsible for the pact signed between the Indian Congress and the All-Indian Muslim League, known as the Congress League Pact of 1916, or more commonly known as the Lucknow Pact. The Lucknow Pact is the only pact that these two organizations signed between each other. And this was very important because these two political parties represented the two major communities in the Indian subcontinent. This pact gave Muslims the rights to their own election process. This meant that the All-Indian Muslim League would receive recognition as the representative organization for Muslims, which gave Muslims a greater representation in Indian politics. But unfortunately, violence began to creep into Indian politics. chaos. And when that happened, Jinnah became really upset with this. Jinnah, he believed in the ordered progress, and Gandhi's methods of satyagraha, meaning civil disobedience, and the government boycott movements became too extreme when he landed up with the methods that he would have chosen. Jinnah believed that Gandhi's doctrine of non-cooperation only led to building up resentment and achieved nothing constructive. Jinnah left Congress soon after the Nagpur Congress session in 1920. The Nagpur Congress session adopted Gandhi's program in all its entirety, and Jinnah couldn't support it because he believed that Gandhi's methods could only lead to political terrorism, lawlessness, and chaos. Now, the distrust between the Hindu and the Muslim communities continued to build from there. That's because the Hindus failed to meet the demands of the Muslims, so Jinnah's efforts came to nothing. Just to give you an example of one incident, the Delhi Muslim proposal of March 1927, in order to bridge Hindu-Muslim differences on the constitutional plan, the proposals even waived the most basic Muslim demand for the right to a separate electorate, which was something that they were granted in the Lucknow Pact. And in fact, Jinnah became so upset that he decided to just get up and leave the Indian subcontinent. He went over to London, England, where he stayed there for a bit, and that was during the early 30s. He did, however, return to India in 1934, but that was after people begged him to come back, and he assumed the leadership of the Muslim community then. In the year 1936, Jinnah reorganized the Muslim League. But it was no easy task because the situation in India was a lot more discouraging than it was even when he left. Provincial parties in Punjab, Bengal, Sindh, the northwest frontier, Assam, and Bihar had all come up to serve their own personal interests. So because he was so extremely frustrated with the situation, Jinnah decided to focus his efforts into organizing the Muslims into one platform. He focused all his energy into turning Muslim India into a powerful force like no other. The Muslim League won 108, which is about 23% of the seats out of a total 485 Muslim seats, and that was across various legislature. Even though that wasn't really an impressive number, the fact that the League won the largest number of Muslim seats and that it was the only all-India party of the Muslims in the country was a huge boost in their confidence. That right there put Muslim India on the map of the Indian subcontinent. Following that, when the Congress came to power in July of 1937, the Muslims became very convinced that in the Congress's schemes, Muslims would only be able to live in India as second-class citizens. But it was Jinnah's efforts that gave the Muslim community the will to live and fight as a nation. From this was born what would change the face of the Indian subcontinent forever. A separate Muslim nationhood and a separate Muslim
India was
state.
nothing without him as well.
That concludes this first part of the life of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Look out for part 2, where we continue his story. The story of a man whose influence, leadership, and determination helped give birth to one of the most powerful nations on earth, Pakistan.
Wow. He's a very important person for Pakistan. You know, like how we got the leader as a, a lot of people know we had a leader like Sanjana Singh Pindrawale, that he stood up for, like, you know, the rights for his community, like how Jinnah did. So but obviously in India eyes, that he's a bad man, he's a bad guy, because he stood for the righteous and for their own people, like his own people, like for the freedom for own people. You know, that's what Jinnah did as well. And well, he successfully managed to do it because he had a big hand with England, obviously. You know? So what are your thoughts about it, man?
The thing is, before the partition, he was a powerful figure anyway.
Yeah, he was a powerful person.
Anyway. He was important for India. I mean, at one point they had to call him back from the UK, but he was fed up with it.
He was fed up with that,
all the political shit going on in India anyway. And when the partition did happen, obviously he was, you know, he influenced Pakistan's decision a lot. You know what I mean?
That's it.
His role within the Pakistani society was.
That's why they call him father of Pakistan.
Yeah, exactly. It was very, very important, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah. Like when Pakistan did that, English. Sorry, we was talking too much of English there. I thought it was मैंने पता तो you guys पंजाबी का तो बोलना है ना. So. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਹੈ, ਲਾਈਕ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੰਜਨਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਪਿੰਡਰਾਵਾਲੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੀਗੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਨੀ, ਸੇਮ ਲਾਈਕ ਜਿੰਨਾ he ਇੱਕ ਬੜਾ ਖਾਸ ਆਦਮੀ ਸੀਗਾ as far as I know from this video now he was very important ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ important ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਲਾਈਕ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਪੇਪਰ ਵਰਕ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਲਾਈਕ ਯੂ نو he was a politics person ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੱਢਣੀ so ਉਹਨੇ ਉਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਜੋ ਸਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ so I salute to Jinnah for fighting for his country. Baki ਹੁਣ Jinnah ਹੁੰਦਾ he didn't dream of Pakistan like that. ਜੋ ਹੁਣ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਾਸ਼ ਉਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਸੀ if Jinnah was still here.
Do you know what? I believe that the English obviously forced the separation between the Indians and Pakistanis, right? How much of the decisions were influenced by the English on him?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
On
do you reckon my point is, do you reckon he was influenced by the English a lot? Because from what I can see, he kind of, you know, liaised, or in another word, just
no, I don't think ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਧੱਕਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਲਾਈਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਰਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਬਣਾ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੂਵੀਜ਼ ਦੇਖੀ ਸੀ ਵਿੰਸ ਰੋਇਸ ਹਾਊਸ ਰਾਈਟ ਵਿੰਸ ਰੋਇਸ ਹਾਊਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ 'ਚ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ how can I put this in a word ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਸੀਗੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਡਿਮਾਂਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਫਾਈਟ ਕਰੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕਲਾਸੀਫਾਈਡ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ਨ ਹੈਨਾ ਉਹ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਤਾਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੀਜੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਹੈਨਾ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਇੱਕ ਆਪਣੀ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਪਛਾਣ ਹੋਵੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਹੈਨਾ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਉਹ ਦੇ ਵਾਂਟਡ ਹੈਵ देयर ਓਨ ਰੂਲ ਐਂਡ ਰੈਗੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਧਰਮ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਇੱਕ ਸੋਚ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਹੈਨਾ ਸੋ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਕੀਤੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਧਰਮ ਆ ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਧਰਮ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਹੈਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਮਿਕਸ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਇਫ ਉਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਰਾਈਟ ਕੱਲਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਵੱਡ ਵਡਾਂਗਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੋਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ There's gonna be a lot of murdering going on. Okay, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਵੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ people start having a bit of a bitter ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਦੇ ਜ਼ਹਿਰ ਭਰਨ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਹੈਨਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਲਾ ਲਓ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਕੋਈ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਦੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਹੈਨਾ ਪਰ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਲੜਾਈ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਸਿਵਲ ਵਾਰ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸੀਗੀ ਸੋ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ absolute to him ਠੀਕ ਹੈ you know that kind of guy we all need that kind of leader in every community ਹੈਨਾ like we had a leader like Sanjay Singh ji his thought was so clear you know ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਕੁੜੀ ਦੀ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਧਰਮ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲੜਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੱਕ ਸੱਚ ਦੀ ਲੜਾਈ ਤੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਲੈਣਾ so yeah he was a leader he was a true leader for us like Sanjay Singh ji and Jinnah was a true leader for Pakistani and he's the father of Pakistan I agree with that yes he is your father guys Baki, hopefully ਤੁਸੀਂ like our thoughts and discussion that we did talk about and I really actually want to know more about Pakistan so we'll be watching part 2 part 3
if you guys think that we've said anything wrong or if you object against anything just do let us know in the comment section below and then we'll answer that back
वैसे कुछ गलती हो गई तो माफ करियो please if we understand really wrong about Jinnah as much as I knew about him because you know I'm not really good with dates ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੇਤੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਪਰ ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਝ ਜਾਣਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ obviously ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਗਿਆ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ so I'm waiting to watch part 2 now ਹੈ ਨਾ so hopefully ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਾਈਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ please like share subscribe ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਿਓ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਿਓ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ so I know you guys there ਹੈ ਨਾ to watch the second part so if you want the second part from me please subscribe now ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬੜੇ ਐਕਸਾਈਟਿਡ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਿਓ ਤੇ it's a wrap now guys see you in my next video until guys peace